Cynthia was born into wealth and influence. Her parents, Chief and Mrs. Okafor, were highly respected business moguls who had built a legacy of power and affluence. From childhood, Cynthia never had to lift a finger to do household chores. Maids and servants attended to her every need. Her meals were prepared by professional chefs, her clothes were arranged by dedicated housekeepers, and her every request was met before she even had to ask. Despite her privileged upbringing, Cynthia remained humble and kind-hearted. She was respectful to everyone, from her parents' high-profile guests to the housemaids who worked in their mansion. She had a childlike joy that made her a delight to be around, an intelligence that made conversations with her engaging, and a jovial nature that could brighten even the dullest of rooms. But for all her admirable qualities, there was one thing Cynthia simply could not do. She could not cook. Her lack of cooking skills was never a problem for her or her family. After all, why would she need to cook when there were world-class chefs at her disposal? However, everything changed when she met Femi, the love of her life. Femi was an ambitious and hardworking young man from a middle-class background. He had earned his success through determination and perseverance, and while he admired Cynthia's intelligence and warm personality, he was well aware of her zero experience in the kitchen. Yet, he didn't think that was a reason not to marry her. Cooking is a skill that can be learned, he would say. Besides, love is about companionship, not just about who can cook. Cynthia was relieved by his perspective. She loved Femi deeply, and the thought of losing him over something as trivial as cooking never crossed her mind. But everything changed one fateful evening when Cynthia invited her friends, Ada, Bisi, and Toke, for dinner. That night, Cynthia decided to prepare afang soup and pounded yam. "My love," Femi said cautiously, watching her in the kitchen, "are you sure about this? Maybe we can." "Haba! Order what?" Cynthia interrupted. "You think I don't know how to cook? My neighbor, Madame Caro, says I am a fantastic cook. In fact, she says my cooking aroma wakes her up every morning." Femi swallowed hard. If only Madame Caro knew that Cynthia's aroma was nothing but burnt food and oversalted disasters. Dinner time came, and Cynthia proudly served the food. Her friends took their seat, smiling nervously. "Wow, Cynthia, this looks interesting," Ada said, forcing a smile. They each took a spoonful. Bisi coughed so hard that her wig almost fell off. Ada's eyes turned red. Toke gulped water like her life depended on it. Femi, being a good husband, took a bite. A single tear rolled down his left eye. "Cynthia," he whispered, "what exactly did you put in this soup?" "Just the normal ingredients," Cynthia replied proudly. "Water leaf, afan leaves, periwinkle, and a little something extra." "What extra?" Ada asked, her voice trembling. "I added Nutri-C juice for flavor," Cynthia said with a big smile. Silence. Femi dropped his spoon. Ada gasped. Bisi stood up. Toke simply whispered, "Jesus is Lord." That night, Femi's stomach suffered untold hardship. The next morning, Cynthia's friends gathered for an emergency intervention. "Cynthia, this has to stop," Ada declared. "You need to learn how to cook," Bisi added. "Or at least stop trying to cook for people," Toke said dramatically. Cynthia scoffed. "So all of you think I am a bad cook?" The three women exchanged glances. They didn't have the heart to say yes. Just as they were about to explain, Cynthia stormed out angrily. As she turned the corner of a corridor, she collided with Madame Caro. "Oh, my dear Cynthia," Madame Caro gasped, holding her chest dramatically. "You almost broke my ribs." "Sorry, Mama Caro," Cynthia mumbled, still upset. Madame Caro noticed Cynthia's frown and immediately saw an opportunity. She grabbed Cynthia's hand and pulled her aside. My dear, I heard your friends talking. I hope you're not listening to them, Madame Caro whispered. Cynthia sighed. They keep saying I'm a bad cook. Madame Caro scoffed loudly. Nonsense. Cynthia, let me tell you the truth. Your cooking is fantastic. In fact, your food aroma wakes me up every morning. Sometimes I wish I was the one married to your husband so I could enjoy your delicious meals. Cynthia's face lit up. Really? Yes, but those your so-called friends, they are just jealous. They don't want you to shine. And let me tell you something else. Your husband is the real problem. He has bad taste in food. That's why he doesn't appreciate your talent. Cynthia's eyes widened. You think so? I know so. Madame Caro placed a hand on her chest. In fact, I believe in you so much that I think you should enter the National Cooking Challenge. Let the whole country see your talent. Cynthia gasped. You mean a real cooking competition? Yes, my dear, Madame Caro said excitedly. Enter the competition and shut those envious friends of yours up for good. Cynthia marched back into the living room, where Ada, Bisi, and Toke were still sitting. I have made my decision, she announced boldly. Since you all think I can't cook, I am going to prove you wrong. I am signing up for the national cooking competition. Ada almost dropped her drink. Bisi gasped. Cynthia, no. Toke's eyes widened. Are you mad? Cynthia raised her chin. Madame Caro believes in me, even if you don't. And when I win, I don't want to see any of you at my victory party. She stormed out. Ada sighed. We tried. She will have to learn the hard way.